Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, and it's Theme Thursday. And I was just watching one of Yvonne's videos, and she said that the theme for this week would be farm animals or bunnies. So I sure had fun looking through my baby clothes to see what I could come up with. I've got I found this little bunny in my daughter's closet, and I thought he was really cute. He's a big, floppy bunny, and my daughter had him when she was a little girl, and I just thought he was really cute. I think she got him for Easter one year. And then I chose 3 of my babies. I have like 10 babies already. I don't know if I need any more, but this is little Charlie, and he's holding on to a little lamb. We see little lambs in the farm sometimes. So anyway, so little Charlie is wearing, I found some little yellow, white pajamas, sleeper, with little bunnies. It's got little gray bunnies and yellow bunnies, and it says, some bunny loves me. And I think he's so cute. And look at those feet. I just think the feet are just precious. They're like little bunnies with little bunny ears. And he's a sweet little boy. He's newborn size. I love the newborn size for babies. And he's one of the babies, reborns, that I created. And anyway, so little Charlie's wearing this. And he's wearing a little sweater that my kids wore when they were babies, that one of my aunts made for them. And I think it's crocheted or knitted. I'm not sure which, but and someday I'd like to learn how to crochet a sweater. So if anybody has ideas of websites I can go to or YouTube channels that I should watch, let me know, because I love crocheting. So little Charlie, he's sound asleep here. And yeah, so he's wearing his bunny sleeper. And then we've got little William. And I found a perfect little outfit for William today for the farm theme for today. And he's wearing a one-piece little blue pajamas. I thought they were really cute, right, William? And they're a little bit big maybe, but I thought, well, it doesn't really matter. I think he looks pretty darn cute with those on. And it's got a barn and like a little kitty cat, and it's got a little fence. And so I thought, boy, how appropriate for a farm theme. And little William, he's been a good little boy lately. He's always so happy, always curious about everything. I love that little sweet expression that he has. He's really thinking about what he's going to do next. But and he's another one that I created, and he's got a little kind of bluish eyes, blue-green eyes. And I just adore this little guy. And I've always liked babies and sleepers. And so anyway, I think he looks absolutely adorable in this. And I think this was an outfit I had for my son when he was a baby. I did keep some of my children's baby clothes. And so now they're in their mid-20s or late 20s. But boy, the time sure flies. But I sure enjoy looking through baby clothes in my hope chest and remembering those days back then when I used to dress my own children in baby clothes. So there's little William. Yes, little William, he's been a good boy. Oh, okay, I gotta make sure I put the bottle right here, because I'm gonna be feeding one of the babies in a little bit. Oh, and I did modify a pacifier for him. It's got like a greenish star to it. I love these little passies. So he's going to use his little pacifier. So he's been a good little boy. And of course I found a little duck that I thought at the farm we always see little ducks in a pond. Sometimes some farms have ponds with little ducklings and ducks. So, and my son used to love ducks when he was a little boy, so I did keep some of his little stuffed animals. I'm one of those people, I don't like to get rid of things unless it's something I haven't used for a long time and everything, but I like to save things and remember things from back when, when my kids were little or when I was small. So anyway, and then I've got little Charlotte here, and she was the second baby I reborn, and she's a precious little thing. Yes, you are. You're a little precious. And she's the one I'm going to hold today because I thought I haven't held her in a long time. And she's got a little pink bunny because the theme was bunnies or farm animals. So she's sound asleep. I love her little facial expression. She looks like a very content newborn baby. She's always very happy, and she has little eyelashes which I glued on, and her hair was painted by me, and I thought her hair turned out really cute, really sweet. So with hair painting, I've been trying all different ways of doing it and just figuring out what I like. But that's the fun part of this hobby, is that you're always trying new things and seeing what works the best or what looks the most realistic. And so I've got little Charlotte. I love her little hands, how expressive they are. You know how little babies, they open up their hands sometimes when they're kind of surprised or curious. So she's got very expressive hands. And this little outfit has little mice on it. And I bought this, I think, brand new. One of the few clothes that I've bought that are new. But I couldn't resist that little outfit. And it turns into a little pajama, like a sleeper if you want to. Or else it can be like a little gown, like little newborns wear. So there she is. And she's been such a good little girl too. And she's wearing little booties that also were crocheted by one of my aunts when my kids were little. And I love those booties. I've always loved booties on babies. So I think that's why I named my channel Booties and Bonnets, because I've always loved booties and I've always loved bonnets on my babies. So there's little Charlotte. So I'm going to put her hat back on, and I just wanted to show you what I had for Theme Thursday. Oh, she's going to wear her little hat. And I remember as a child going to visit my grandparents, when I was living in Colombia. And by the way, Colombia is a very beautiful country. I think it gets a bad rap sometimes, that bad things happen there, but they're beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Bad things happen everywhere, and but it's a beautiful place to go visit. And I lived there for 12 or 13 years, so I was about 12 years old when we came back up here. But I remember as a little girl going to visit my grandparents, and one of my brothers and I would get on the airplane by ourselves, and we'd fly there, and they'd greet us at the airport. My grandparents are gone already, but I have a lot of fond memories of them. And my grandpa, they had a hobby farm out in the country that we used to go to a lot, and they had a beautiful home out there with where my grandma even had like a flower garden right inside a court where you could go in and see all her flowers and everything. And she loved to do her gardening. And my grandfather, he had some cows, and for him, these cows, he treated them like they had feelings and everything, and he would talk to them, and treated him in a very dignified way. And I remember we'd be, every morning he'd come to our room and he would bring us a warm glass of milk that he had just milked from one of the cows. And he'd put a little touch of brandy in there, in the milk. And I always wondered if he didn't do that so we'd sleep a little longer. But it gave it a distinct flavor. I don't know if you ever put brandy and then had milk, warm milk with it, but we thought it was really neat, and we thought it tasted really good. And so that was one of the things I remember about my grandfather when he lived in this farm, country home place that he lived at. It was a very peaceful place, and I think he liked to get away from the big city, because the city had like 7 million people. It's a big city, and I think he just needed to get away and enjoy the quiet countryside and everything. So, and we'd go out, and there was a farm close by, and my grandma, my aunts, and my grandpa and my brother and I, one of my brothers and I, we usually took turns going there, but we'd go and pick up eggs. So we'd walk to this farm and get eggs, and of course there was always chit-chatting. People liked to sit and visit, and my grandpa always had to make sure he had the best looking eggs, and so then we'd walk back. So those are some of the memories I had of living on of being on a farm. It's such a neat experience. He did not have a lot of cows or that. He just had like maybe 6 cows that he would milk every day. And I think he did sell some of his milk. And my grandma used to make whipped butter from the milk, the cream of the milk. She would whip up the cream and make it into real butter, and we'd have it on bread, and oh my gosh, it was just wonderful tasting that. It was very special. And so yeah, we have a lot of fond memories of having been on the farm, and I'm glad we had that experience. So anyway, little Charlotte is sleeping away here. I thought, let's see, what was I going to do? I did have a book called Peter Rabbit. I think most of you are familiar with the story of Peter Rabbit. I'm going to put little Charlotte right here. She's sound asleep. Yep. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you what she looked like. You know, she was my second one that I created, and she's got not as much modeling on her, but she is, to me, she's perfect. As a beginning artist, I tried different things, and I prefer using air-dry paints, and I think they work just as well as Genesis paints. I've been very happy with them, and she's very baby-like. I just love her little. She must weigh like 3-4 pounds, so she's pretty little. And so I thought I'd read Peter Rabbit, because my mom used to read this story to us when we were little. Of course, it was parts of the book are a little scary, but you know, every fairy tale, I guess, has to have scary parts to it. I think that's part of the mystique of storybooks or children's books. So anyway, while you're seeing all the babies here, I'll read a story. And I was going to feed Charlotte, but she fell asleep on me, so I guess I won't be feeding her this time. I'll put her bunny up here. There we go. So it's called Peter Rabbit. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see Peter Rabbit. And I'll show you some of the pictures. Maybe I won't get... This book was written a long time ago. Probably in the 50s, if anybody knows. And I love the illustrations. They're just beautiful. And it says, once upon a time there were 4 little rabbits named Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother underneath the roots of a very big fir tree. "Be good while I am away," said Mrs. Rabbit one day, "and don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden." Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail went off to pick some blackberries. Oh, there they are, the blackberries. Yeah, I love the illustrations and the bright colors on the pictures and the bright. But Peter Rabbit ran straight to Mr. McGregor's garden and ate some lettuce and beans and radishes. When he came to the cucumber frame, there was Mr. McGregor. Oh, he doesn't look very nice, does he? I don't know, maybe I'll leave it like this, although then you can't see my babies. But Mr. McGregor chased Peter with his rake. "Stop, thief!" he shouted. Peter could not find his way out of the garden, and he lost one of his shoes among the cabbage plants. Oh, I remember that. As a little girl thinking, oh no, now what's going to happen? Oh no, he might have got away if he hadn't caught the buttons of his jacket in a net. Peter gave himself up for lost until some friendly sparrows begged him to try again to escape. There was Peter Rabbit. He got caught on the net. And there were the little sparrows. Oh, poor Peter Rabbit. Peter left his jacket in the net and ran into the tool shed, where he hid in a watering can. It was a good hiding place, but the cold water made him sneeze. Kerchoo! Oh, there he is sneezing. Oh, Mr. McGregor was after him in no time. He almost put his foot on Peter, but Peter jumped out of the window and got away. Poor Peter, he was very frightened. Oh, there goes Peter running like crazy. Oh, that shoe kind of scared me, that big boot. Mr. McGregor went back to work. Peter walked until he met a little mouse. "Where's the mouse?" He asked her the way to the gate, but she had a large pea in her mouth and didn't answer. Oh, look at that pea. The little green pea in her mouth. But poor Peter Rabbit looked sad, and he lost his shoe. Oh, poor Peter Rabbit. By and by, Peter saw a white cat who was staring at some goldfish in a little pond, but he went on without speaking. He had heard about cats from his cousin Benjamin. Oh, there's a kitty cat. Oh, what's going to happen, though? And there's a goldfish. The kitty was looking at the goldfish in the pond. Then Peter tried to find his way across the garden. Suddenly he heard the noise of a whole scratch. He hid in a wheelbarrow, and from there he could see the garden gate. Oh, there's Mr. McGregor. Oh no. Oh boy, I'd be pretty scared. Oh boy. Peter ran lippity, hiding behind the currant bushes as he ran. At last he was past the garden gate, and he had lost his new blue jacket and both of his shoes. Oh, poor Rabbit, he lost everything. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and shoes for a scarecrow to frighten away the birds. Peter ran on and on until at last he was safe at home under the big fir tree. Oh, there's Peter's sweater and his shoes. Oh, Mr. McGregor. He was so tired that he flopped down on the soft sand floor and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what had become of his jacket and shoes. There's the mother cooking. Peter didn't feel well. His mother put him to bed and gave him some chamomile tea. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had blackberries and milk for supper. Oh, poor Peter. So anyway, I guess Peter shouldn't have done what he did, run into Mr. McGregor's garden. But I remember my mom reading this story to us, and I just love the pictures and everything. It's just beautiful. So hopefully little Peter Rabbit got a good rest, and he learned his lesson not to go to Mr. McGregor's farm again. So I thought I'd share that. And, oh, my little babies are still sound asleep here. Little Charlie's still sound asleep. I think I'm going to have to get them up pretty soon to feed them, because they're hungry. They'll be hungry, and so will William. And little Charlotte, oh my goodness. One thing about these reborn babies is that we don't have to take care of them 24 hours a day. We just get to enjoy them and dress them and everything. So thanks for joining me, and thanks to Yvonne for Theme Thursday. I really enjoyed putting it together and figuring out what things to use, and I'm enjoying all your videos. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And hugs to you all, and have a wonderful day. Bye.